Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. It is Pinky and we're trying on yet another one. Yes, so we're moving along. I'm gonna go back into this one because I think there's only 5 left, and then I will switch back to the other one, but it was a little unfair before. I know there were so many before, and now we are down to very few left in this little tin. And again, this is Zoologist. I mean, you probably saw the title, but just in case. Here we go. Which one is it? Northern Cardinal. Huh. Very interesting. So far, I've had very, very good luck using the bird species. It's been very nice because there's been a few items that have been a shocker, especially the last video if you missed out on that one. But so let's check out the notes and let's get started. Okay, excitement, sort of. So, okay, excitement. Here we go. There we go. This is what the bottle looks like. I usually put it to the side. Sometimes I forget because that's how I roll. So this is going to cost you 175 USD. And branches lay bare against a gray sky. The gaiety of summer is given way to the doldrums of fall as winter settles in. Okay, so this is going to be interesting because the other 2 scents that I tried, Hummingbird and I forget. Those 2 are more spring forward. Hummingbird, and I'm going to put it to the side because I keep forgetting. Those are more floral and heading into spring, and there's that excitement of spring and the freshness. So this one's interesting because it's going the opposite way, summer into fall. So I'm excited. So this is for the top notes. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot to read the Zoologist. Northern Cardinal combines the invigorating scents of bergamot, rose, and rich hints of leather. Doing a bang-up job. Yeah, so this is interesting because it definitely does seem a little bit more fall than the other ones, which were a little bit more bright. So the top notes are lemon, bergamot, mandarin, green leaves. Middle notes are rose, clary sage, and leather. And the base notes are vanilla, oak, moss, musk, I saw the words together, and patchouli. So everything's from Canada, and no animal products were used in this beautiful perfume. Well, I don't know if it's beautiful yet, but there you go. So this one seems very floral. They like the florals for the birds, but this one seems a little bit more earthy too. So I'm excited to see. This one actually sounds exciting. I'm really interested to see what happens. So let us get to it. Oops. I know I did 2 because this one just only does like a little bit of a spritz. Oh my gosh, that just hit my hand. I'm doing a bang up. Yeah. Way to go, Binky. You're killing it. Ooh. It's on my hand. I'm going to wash that off because this is a lot. I don't normally spray this much. I usually do 2. Oh, wow. So I definitely get the oak, moss, and leather. Oak moss, leather, and sage. A lot of sage. So that sage is coming through with the oak moss. So this has more because it does have a lot of floral notes, but I'm going to be honest with you, the floral notes don't come out at first. It most definitely is like a very earthy, leathery scent. Ooh. I thought it would be a little bit sweeter than it is, but it most definitely is not. It's very pretty, and I wouldn't say pretty, it's very earthy. It's really interesting because it's saying lemon, bergamot, mandarin, and green leaves. I definitely get the green leaves. It's very much that earthy feel to it, so I do get that. I don't get the bergamot, and I know that one pretty well. And I don't, it's on my hand. I don't get the freshness of the lemon through it. If you're looking for it, you can find it, actually. Yeah, it's this is actually helpful to have it on my hand. It's there is a little bit of brightness to it. I don't know if I would know that it was lemon, but there is a brightness to it that cuts through it, which is actually pretty smart. So I definitely get the sage and leather, which are the middle notes. I didn't get a lot of the top notes except for the green leaves. But boy, that leather and sage comes through. The rose I am not really getting. I'm not really getting the floral notes. It's funny because they also always say vanilla. I never get vanilla in these. Wow, this is really kind of strong. I mean, I sprayed more than I normally do. Wow. Oak moss with sage, leather, and oak moss with a little brightness. And green leaves. Green leaves. Wow. Okay. So this one is really, really earthy. And not in a bad way. Not in a bad way. I'm curious to see how it morphs because I've never smelled anything quite like this. In a good way. Huh. It's already starting to morph. The rose is coming through. The rose is starting to peek through. That is so interesting. That's why I sit with these a little bit longer when I initially spray, is because it really is one way when you spray it. And then within, I'd say 5 minutes, the other notes start to come through. And this is what I was hoping for a little bit. The rose is coming through. So it's very much a rose and leather scent. Wow, that's so interesting. Yeah, it's now predominantly rose, leather, and green. The sage is taking a back seat. This is more what I was kind of looking forward to. This is how I kind of was expecting the scent to be a little bit more. And it's coming through. I think that rose just adds an interesting dimension to it, but it's just not your old school rose. It has more earthiness to it. So it's kind of like you're walking through a garden, there just happens to be a rose bush. Like there's a garden, but there's a lot of trees and a lot of, like, the earth has been tilled, and that crispness and heaviness of fall, it's not quite heavy yet. But you're starting, it's not like musk. Musk deer was really strong, like you're being enveloped by the winter. This is, you can feel the coldness starting to come in, and you know when you're hitting fall, it starts getting a little bit darker and danker, and you're like, the long days are coming. You really they really captured it with this one. Like the end of summer is done. The roses are there, but then you can feel that the days are getting longer and the earth has been tilled and the trees are starting to change. This is really interesting. This one is really cool, actually. I'm really loving this one. So before we come back an hour, yep, it's rose, leather, and green. Green leaves. The sage is taking a back seat. And a little bit of bergamot. There it is. Just a tad bit. And that brightness is still there. It has that brightness, but the bergamot would add to the brightness along with the lemon. That's coming through with the rose and leather and greenery. Wow, that is really cool. So I'm excited to see where this one goes because it just keeps getting better and better. So I'm going to check in an hour. I'm going to wash this off. Because, you know, you got to wash your hands. So it's a good thing to do. And so I probably will be doing that before I check in next. So yeah, but it makes it a lot easier, right? It's okay. We don't need to do that. So I will see you in an hour. Okay, so it's been about an hour and I can still smell it, most definitely. It's not on the hand anymore. I washed it since then, but I can most definitely smell it wafting up from my shirt and on my arm. And this is very much a green scent. And what I mean is you are getting a lot of greenery, a lot of greenery. So if you like green scents, then you're going to like this. So it's interesting because on my arm, it's very green and peppery, very much so. And it just reminds me of, like I said, like a garden. This is a beautiful garden, and it's heading into fall. I very much get that with tilled earth. It's just what I keep seeing in my mind. Okay, so this is morphed a little bit. It's very much like green stems to me and bergamot. That's what I'm getting now. And I find that really interesting. I moved it. The sage, no, I'm definitely getting sage, green leaves, and bergamot. That's what I'm getting from this, which is very interesting, actually. It's just so green. I mean, it's just green. That's the only way to really, a spicy green. That's what it is. And here it's more of like a sweet floral. I get more of the bergamot with vanilla. That's interesting. Vanilla, lemon, and bergamot with green, with the green leaves. The main component is the green leaves coming out, and that's on my wrist, and that's on my shirt here. So I'm getting both, but this one's interesting because I really like that vanilla sweetness with the sharpness of the bergamot and green. I really like that a lot. And with here, when I do smell the difference, so it definitely is, and I forgot to mention the leather component. Leather, sage, and greenery. Wow. Okay, so spicy greenery, and then that leather spiciness, spicy greens with leather. So interesting. Yeah, it's not as sweet. It's sweeter here. I expect it to be just a tad bit sweeter. I do like this one. I think what I would do though, maybe, is add a little, if I ever owned it, this is one of those ones I would layer with a vanilla, like a plain vanilla. And I have plenty of them because I like vanilla. So just spritz on some vanilla to sweeten it up a bit, maybe. I do find this one, if you want to say masculine, feminine, wear whatever you want. These are all considered unisex. But I would say that a lot of people may consider this a little bit more leaning towards masculine. On my chemistry, yes. If you want to say what is or isn't. But I think for me, just because I like a little bit more sweetness in my perfumes, I would add a little hint of vanilla just to kind of make it more my scent profile. But that being said, it's a very interesting scent. It's still going strong. I could smell it from both places, and it's a really nice one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check back in at probably the 4.5. I love that 4.5, 5 hour mark from beginning to end. And we'll talk about it when go over our final thoughts. Okay, so we made it. We're at the 5 hour mark. It's still wearing. I can still smell it. More so in here than here, but let's give it a whiff like we always do. No, I can definitely still smell it here. So this is definitely more, it hasn't morphed much since my last check-in. It's very peppery. It's a peppery green with a hint of bergamot and a little bit of sweetness. Yeah, a very spicy green with a hint of bergamot and a little sweetness. So, you know, it's not projecting as much, but let's try it on the clothing. So that's interesting. Here it's sweeter. Here it's most definitely lemon bergamot and greenery with a hint of sage. I will say that I actually like it on the clothing better than where it morphed onto my skin, because it's just very green on the skin. But this is very sweet and green and earthy in a good way. I very much prefer this scent. Yeah, this is beautiful. This leans a little bit more unisex than this, which was a little bit more masculine. But I mean, it depends, like I said, wear what you want to wear. So this one's interesting. The leather is pretty much gone. The silage at first is very strong, but what I'm finding is with the majority of Zoologist scents, they really don't last past the 4 hour mark much. They start petering out around 3 or 4, unless you're using one of the really strong ones. You know, like T-Rex is gonna give you what you need, along with the other one I just recently tried. Oh goodness, I've been trying so many I don't even remember. And I should, maybe because I blocked it out. I'll put it to the side, but all I have to say is Barnyard, and that's the count of one in this video. If you've seen the other one, you'll get it. So there's certain ones that do last longer, but this one, it does on clothing, which everything is usually going to do, but I put more sprays with this one just because the sprayer wasn't working right, and it's still pretty calm. But if you get it on your clothing, of course it's going to last longer, and I'm still getting the whiffs of it, so that's nice. So this one's interesting because I actually liked the initial spray like 10-15 minutes after. I loved the leather, I loved the rose, I loved the slight hit of sage with it, with bergamot and lemon. I loved that combination. It was just perfection. But then it went to a green scent. Well, the green scent was always there, that's also there as well. It was the other scent 10-15 minutes in was very complex, and this one it's just a green scent mostly on the skin. Better here, but I don't know. I think if it had stayed within that 10-15 minute range, I probably would have bought a bottle. But this isn't necessarily a scent profile that I lean towards, so this is why, for a personal note, that this is not necessarily one for me. Yeah, especially on my skin, but I know a lot of people wear it on their clothing. But if you do wear it on your skin, then for me, it just goes to a more bitter note. A bitter, spicy green note, which, you know, I'm finding out my body loves those bitter notes. No, it's like, maybe it's because I'm a bitter person. But actually, no, I don't consider myself that. No, I'm a straight talker though. But that doesn't make you bitter. But that's a whole different topic. This isn't a psych channel. So there you go. But yeah, so I think vanilla on this would have helped kick it up for me, as I said earlier. I would say that if you're going to use what people consider masculine, feminine, if you like a more masculine scent, this may lean that way, unless your body chemistry pulls out the sweeter notes or the rose notes. But again, you wear whatever you want, but I would say it does lean a little bit more towards masculine. I would say if you like fresh, earthy green scents, then this would be for you. I mean, it reminded me of gardening. Right when fall's coming. It captures that well, as it says in the description. It does capture that quite well. But, you know, and if you like leathery, earthy scents with greenery, this is for you. If you like things that are a little bit lighter, floral, sweeter, unless you pull out those notes, but even still, the green notes and leather are really strong, and I think they're going to come through on most people, but I can't speak to that. I don't know what your skin does. I think this may be a harder sell. Yes. So what do I think of it as far as the Northern Cardinal? Now, the description says that it's basically going into winter. It's that fall going into winter. And I think they captured that beautifully. But we're not talking about seasons here. We're talking about the animal, the Northern Cardinal, which is just glorious. She's just beautiful. He, all of them. They're beautiful. I love these little creatures. I was always taught that if you see one of these, which they're just part of nature everywhere, but it's kind of this little tidbit that I've heard people say, that if you see a cardinal visit you, it's somebody that you love who's passed on visiting you, and that's what it represents. And I was kind of like that. Also, my favorite color is red, so I love cardinals. They're just gorgeous little birds, and their little songs are just beautiful bird. But that being said, they are more of a winter bird from my understanding. So though this captures the environment to a degree, it doesn't fully capture the environment, because it reminds me of gardening and tilling soil and trees, but not the type of trees I would expect. Maybe with a winter scent like this, which I would kind of consider this, I would expect more of a heavier silage. I don't mind the leather notes, but I'm a little bit confused by the rose notes a bit. from my understanding, the northern cardinals really love sunflower seeds. They just love them. They love them. So, but I mean, I could be wrong. I'm not an expert on birds, but I think they do. And that being the case, I mean, I would have liked maybe some sunflower or some kind of like berry scent or something to represent the red maybe in it. I don't know, maybe some pine. I just, for some reason, this captures the environment of late fall, early winter more than it captures the bird. So that's kind of what I get from it a little bit, but that's just being nitpicky. It is. I just don't feel like when I spray this on, I go, oh, that's a northern cardinal, you know? There's certain scents like koala that I've tried. You most definitely know what animal that is. You know, even camel, if you get those animal notes, you know what that is. You know, you've smelled it. So this one kind of misses the mark that way for me, but that doesn't make it a bad scent. It just depends what you like. And I saw a bottle originally where it was red. Now, I don't know if that was special edition or what, but I wish I love red. I saw that and I salivated. I was like, why didn't you keep it that way? Oh my God, it was glorious. I would almost buy it just for that because it is so glorious. I love anything red. So there you go. But now, on a scale of 1 to 10, where would I put this beautiful creature? So, like I said, I liked the initial smell and loved the leather and rose and sage and the slight bergamot and lemon. I loved that. And the greenery, I thought that was something special. But once it died down, it just kind of became a green scent. And there's nothing wrong with that. So, but for me, it's not a scent profile I personally use. So I would probably put this scent at about a 6.5, which 5 is average. So it is above. It is. It's not a bad thing. It's a 6.5. And that's a very, bravo. That's a decent score. So again, you may put a higher depending on your likes or how things work in your body. So, but for me, because this is my rating, yeah, I'm giving it about a 6.5. If I have to pick, just because of the middle notes, when it hit, I would put a 6.5 because I loved it. Oh, too bad it didn't stay, but that's okay. Body chemistry be damned. What are you going to do? But yes, so another solid addition. Nothing wrong with it. Really good. We'll see what comes up next. Who knows? This has been a lot of fun. This is quite an adventure, and I'm actually quite excited about this because this is such an interesting niche brand, and it just definitely not getting bored of it yet. Can't wait for the next one. So with that, have a fabulous day, my friends. Bye.